Hey everyone, thank you for joining me in this encouragement session. I want to do something a little different, and it's so good that I'm not just one thing. I don't talk about just kingdom prosperity and Bible study and everything. I also enjoy talking about life. So those who know, a couple of days ago, I just celebrated another birthday, and it just never gets old. I'm just so humbled how the Lord has kept me. In particular, in uh, in this day and age, okay, we have due to COVID, we have over 315,000 deaths due to COVID alone. And all I can say is that the Lord has kept me. The Lord has have I followed all of the protocols? I'm pretty sure I haven't. Okay, it is about a half dozen people I have made exceptions to hugging. You know, hugging my father was definitely one of them. Okay, when he came down for both of my birthday dinners, man, that was just awesome of him, man, to make time in his busy schedule to support me in that. Um, Pastor Steve Hennett, man, I just really appreciate. These are busy guys. They have families. They have things to do. They have things to take care of. But yet they took time out to drive down to DC to show love. So I greatly appreciate that. So I just want to talk about some things that I learned along the way. You know, uh, I I was telling someone this over the summer when one particular morning I went to men's ministry at the church, and our guest speaker was our pastor, and I was like, oh, okay, this is good. And I saw on stage that they had like a stool. You know, I was expecting him to just sit up there and just talk to us about life or his journey, what have you, but blah 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 blah. And he went into a teaching that I think most of us heard before. That's fine, but I was a little disappointed. It's like, in particular, when you're a man, you have got to tell people who you are. They know you as pastor, but who are you as a person? So that said, I want to take this opportunity to talk about things that I learned along the way. One of the things that I learned along the way is that your body is more prone to sticking with comfort. Your body, you as a person, is more prone to want to stick with comfort. I say that is because in preparing for this video, I was thinking about when my mother took me to school for the very first time. Because being the youngest of three, I saw my brother go off to catch the bus to go to high school. I saw my sister walk off in the morning to go to our elementary school, which was right down the street from us, actually. So I was like, huh. And I remember being a small child and always asking my mother, is it the Sabbath yet? I had to ask is because our electricity was off more than it should have been. So, uh, those who don't get the joke is, on the Sabbath we don't watch. We didn't watch television. We didn't go about our normal social activities, so to speak. We would honor the Lord by turning off the TV, turning off to the secular stuff, we would turn on a gospel station, the radio, or listen to a record, or a tape cassette, for gospel music, or what have you, as we would prepare to go to church or what have you. So when our electricity was off, that's how I knew it was the Sabbath, because the TV wasn't on. So when our electricity was off, and granted I was a little young, it's like, is it the Sabbath? Because there ain't nothing on. Sad but true. So I thought school was just for my older siblings. I never thought about going to school because I was just comfortable with being home with my mother, just doing kid stuff. I was also at the age where I was too young to do chores, so life was great. The thing I learned from that is it's prone to us to side to what's more comfortable. It's prone to us to side to what's more comfortable. And for a man in particular, this isn't good, okay? It's because Jesus had the 12 disciples who were all men. He did have women who were the disciples. I just want to square that away. However, they were in a megacygenic society, which was male dominated. Okay, so he still had women, the disciples. So when Jesus is teaching about the kingdom of God, the kingdom of heaven, when he's teaching this, he has his 12 disciples that he chose. They were men. Because why? Because men are the foundation of society. Men are the foundation of society. I know by common standards that's unrealistic or predated or outdated, if you will, but that's what society is trying to do, is making the man optional in society. No. The Bible says that man is the head, and when it says head, what it means is it's not above, it's actually beneath, because that's where the foundation goes. So when Jesus is teaching, and he's teaching his 12 disciples, and it's up to them to know the mysteries of the kingdom of God, and he spoke to them plainly and explained and expounded, is because they were to go out in society after Jesus ascended back to heaven and lay the foundation of a kingdom society. That's the importance of men. Women incubate culture, but men lay down the foundation. So it is for the man, the husband, the father, to lay down the foundation, and for his wife to carry out the culture, not create her own, not to make her husband abide to her culture. No. So that's one of my early lessons that I learned. It's in you to try to decide to what's more comfortable, but you're made to be great, which means to lay the foundation. Whatever your foundation is, it's in you as a man to lay the foundation. It's in you. It's in you. And on your toughest days, you will wish you had your mother. You will have a pain in your life that not even your spouse can heal. You will have a pain in your life that not even your spouse can heal. I remember when I got my heart broken, I was in pain every single day for 4 months. Every single day for 4 months. I will be fine at one moment and then just tears running down my eyes the next moment. And I would never forget that. When you're not okay, you bleed on other people. So you're going to the next woman, trying to see if there's anything between y'all. but you're getting blood on her from your previous encounter, your previous relationship, and it's overwhelming her. It is overwhelming her. Why? Because you're injured. You're injured, and all you're doing is trying to move on. It's in a man to move forward. It's in a man to suck it up. Let's go. Let's do this. It's in him to do that, even at his own detriment. Even at his own detriment. It's in him to want to move on. It's in him to want to move on. Because his healing is in moving forward. His healing is in moving forward. The bad thing is, most men, they are their own doctors. And that's bad. That's very bad. When I was going through that time, I had no one to talk to. I mean, when Stevie Wonder sings the line, I forget what song it is. No, I'm sorry, Al Green. When Al Green says, I just want to know, when can I live again? When you've really been through it, you understand what he means by that. You just want to know when you're going to live again. I believe it is from the song How Do You Mend a Broken Heart? Because you just want to live again. It's something about being injured when you don't see yourself getting better. You think you should be better by now, but you're not. And you just want to know when are you going to be healed? Yeah. Another thing I learned along the way is that people are going to teach you that it's okay to be broke. People are going to teach you that it's okay to be broke. That's one of the things I learned very early. And what I mean by very early, I mean very early. Much about the time where I was asking my mother if it was the Sabbath yet. About the time where when my former pastor was teaching about being rich, and at that time it was a very odd concept, is because we were sitting in the church with no electricity. Very bizarre. Very bizarre. Like, any common sense person can look around like, and as a young person, I was still a child. It was something inside of me that knew this is not right. This is not right. If we serve a God that is okay with us being in poverty perpetually, I don't want to serve him. If we serve a God that is okay with us perpetually being in poverty, I don't want to serve him. It wasn't until maybe 20 years later that I learned in the Bible that is not okay with God. That is not okay with God. That is not okay. That is not okay. Ooh. Yo. No. Because I desired things. And I just, it was like, wait, why? To everyone, why are we struggling so much and all the time? Mm. Mm. Do you know that it's easier for people to create a narrative to make them feel comfortable than it is for them to face the truth? Do you know that? It's easier for them to create a narrative to make them feel better about their reality than it is to face the truth. I like the way Dr. Mike Murdoch explained it. He said, if someone in a wheelchair comes to a healing service and the healing doesn't happen for them, they may create the narrative, it's not meant for me to be healed. I know God is a healer, but it's not meant for me to be healed. Why? Because it hurts to have faith. It hurts to believe God. Because your faith is with God, but you're still in your reality. Yeah. 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 Yes. This is tough to deal with. This is tough to deal with. The thought that we believe a lot of mistruths that's been handed down generationally. Because a narrative gotta be, in particular with church people, we have to create a narrative that makes us feel better about our situation. No. I'm happy with Jesus alone. Hey, I'm happy with Jesus alone too. But I need running water. I need that. The church will make you believe it's an either or situation. It's not. It's not. In Joel chapter 3, when Joel is getting ready to prophetically teach about the outpouring of the Holy Spirit, he first addressed the temporal needs of the people of God. He said, your vineyards will be filled with grapes. Filled with grapes, which means your business, the resources, you shall be filled with it. Then shall he pour out his spirit upon his sons and his daughters. Yes. So your temporal needs are to be met just as much as your spiritual needs. They're not two separate things. They're not in two totally different worlds. God sees them both. And it's, y'all, come on now. No. You've been taught wrong. Because you think poverty connects with humility. No. Humility connects with humility. No. You have to learn what is acceptable for your life. You have to learn what is acceptable for your life. I learned things I learned along the way. If things don't go the way that is beneficial for me, I'm not really into it. I'm really not into it. If things, because even as a child, I had a agitation where I felt like I was being used. Now, granted, I'm a child, so, but notice how my personality was still showing through at the age of 5. Hey, how's this beneficial for me? See, you're hearing this and you think I was a rebellious person. I was, because I was 5. But what I'm trying to underline to you is see the entrepreneur that's in me. How does this benefit my goals? Short term, mid term, long term. We would be in secondary class for children's. It's which means children's ministry. If I felt like things wasn't going my way, I would just quit. I would just quit. Why? It's because I have always been the person who wanted to be identified as a individual than with a group. Because I've never been satisfied with group thinking. Like I'm with a group, I don't really think like that. So why am I hanging out with y'all? Another thing I learned along the way is it is your job to choose who you want in your life. Because by you being submissive to everybody in your life, they choose who gets to be in your life. I like to choose everything. I like to choose the clothes I wear. I like to choose the shoes I wear. I like to choose the hats that I wear. I like to choose the hoodies I wear. I like to choose the suits that I wear, the ties that I wear. I like to choose the people that's in my life. And I'm still the same way. I like to choose. I like to feel like, yeah, I approve that. So someone hearing this is like, you don't choose your coworkers. Well, that's really not my situation, because that relationship ends at 5, 6 p.m. See you in the morning or on Monday. But when we're talking about your personal life, that is why I don't like fundamentally. I don't like the church assigning partners to you for accountability partners and y'all everybody pair up. No. One of the biggest mistakes I ever made was I chose someone to be my accountability partner, and I did not know who he was, and more importantly, he didn't know who I was. So I messed up that situation greatly because I was like, oh, just to choose. I did not know that we could have had an accountability partner that we already knew. I did not know. So I'm trying to force a relationship, trying to make it natural. All this pairing up nonsense. Nah. Go who you feel cool with. Because had I known that, I would not have messed that relationship up. I would not. So even when I'm being real with him and being transparent, what really frustrated me was I had to always explain myself to him. Like, I had to get defensive. Like, why you were doing that? It's like, look, it's kind of hard to be transparent when you got to explain yourself to somebody that you honestly really don't know, and they don't know you. That's why I have a problem with the church choosing who comes into your life. No. I like to choose. Jesus did not take John the Baptist's disciples. He chose his 12. So when John the Baptist was put to death, if they wanted to join Jesus' ministry, they could, but they were not one of the 12. He chose that. Choose who's in your life. Choose. Stop leaving it up to have. Take your life off of autopilot. Stop doing that. Excuse me. Stop doing that. Another thing I learned along the way is that you will fail in life. You will fail in life. You will fail in life. I say that because in 3rd grade, I had to repeat the 3rd grade. because I thought going to the next grade was automatic. Basically, what I experienced in third grade, a lot of teenagers experience in college. Like, this is all social. It's like, no, it's not all social. And you're only acting like this because you're not paying for it. But in third grade, I mean, I cut up big time. It gave my mother a hard time. She would complain to my father. Just acted out a lot in the third grade. And to my surprise, they held me back a year. I was always bright, I was always smart, but I wanted to be bright and smart when I wanted to be. Because I don't like other people controlling that. When the huge bully in third grade saw me in third grade again, he was shocked. He was like, "What are you doing here?" I was like, "What are you doing?" Never mind. So yeah, you will fail in life. Take your life off of cruise control. Stop living your life as if there will be no consequences. You're not a child. Now I gave the example from when I was a child, but do know, even in third grade, I still had to deal with consequences. I still had to deal with them. Stop thinking you won't go to a jail. Okay? Stop thinking that. Stop listening to your dumb best friend. Stop doing that. Life is about consequences. Life is about competition. You got to compete. I remember in elementary school, Miss McKinley. She was our math and science teacher, and she was also our math and science teacher for my other two siblings too. She's been there for a long time. Miss McKinley, she would bring up examples how she would use this example a lot. The kids in China. So we're little and we're hearing this. Who are these kids in China? She keeps bringing up to us. What she was teaching us was life is a competition. Even though your parents are not teaching you that at home, life is about competition. And if we as black people in particular understood that as a whole, we understood oppression. We understood how other races got better treatment. But we didn't understand that life was a competition. Especially a person of color, male or female. You got to work three times as hard to get half the credit. That expression I heard from when Kevin Samuels was telling a story how he was on this panel, him and with Judge Joe Brown, and the third panelist was this white woman who was an executive who was dating a black man. She said it astonished her to find out how accomplished and how amazing he is. He still has to work 3 times as hard to get half the credit. Why? Because he's a black man. He was a black man. This is her, a white woman, accomplished in her own right. Said that my boyfriend has to work 3 times as hard to get half the credit. Because she obviously dated white men and did not see anything close to this happening. What we're not taught as children is life is a competition. So the first semblance, we was not taught this in church. We was not taught this at home. You were taught do well, do your best, and not that life was a competition. But I heard it from my teachers. I didn't take it as seriously because it was from my teachers and not from home and not from church. And it affects people. It affects people. Why? Because you go through life 5, 10, 15 years on cruise control. not doing the best you, not doing your absolute best. Another thing I learned along the way was that people can be jerks. People can be jerks. I say that because my fourth grade teacher, she was very dramatic. She was very just. I still don't like her, yo. I still don't like her. I won't say her name. I still don't like her, man, because she thought she was the stuff, man. I mean, she was fair skinned. She had the short curly hair. I mean, she had like the Tony Braxton hairdo before Tony Braxton, man. I mean, she knew she was hot stuff, man. She knew. I hated her, man. I hated her. I did not. Oh, she was such a jerk. She was such a jerk, man. She was a jerk to me. She was a jerk to everybody she didn't like. Anybody that was not on her program, she was a jerk to. And I'm sitting there and I'm in the fourth grade and I'm like, what is her problem? That was preparing you for the future. That was preparing you for the future. When a woman is unhappy with you, she will make your life very uncomfortable. And she would do anything to do it. She would do anything to do it. Because everything that she does is justified in her own eyes. So I have a speech impediment. So I'm in the fourth grade. I'm young. And I would be terrified if she called on me. Because this is the thing she didn't understand. I would talk to my friends because I was comfortable. But I wouldn't talk in a class. I wouldn't talk in class. I wouldn't raise my hand and answer questions. It's like, why? Why? You know, to me in the fourth grade, that was like setting yourself up to be embarrassed. Especially if you got something wrong. No. She was not letting that slide. No. She was a jerk, man. I wasn't doing well in the fourth grade. And my mother already experienced me repeating the third grade. And she was not going to let that happen without a fight. She called up to the school and to talk to my fourth grade English teacher. And she said, what can I do to help my son pass the fourth grade? And my fourth grade teacher spoke to my mother like she was talking to me. Whoa. My mother was like, excuse me? I don't know who you think you're talking to. Woo. Let me tell you. Had I had more sense, I would have dived more in that story. Because the little my mother told me, it happened exactly how I experienced it every single day. She was a full-on jerk. To anybody she didn't like, she was a full-on jerk. So when she spoke to my mother, she was talking to my mother as if she was in the fourth grade. No. We're going to fix all this right now. She got the principal involved. My fourth grade teacher got in trouble. Because that's what you have to do. You have to hold women accountable. I'm in the fourth grade. I'm a boy. My fourth grade teacher was bullying me. Yeah. When it would be so mad, when it would be so bad, I would go into my math teacher's class and I'll be sad. And like my teacher would say to me, "What's going on?" And I wouldn't tell her because even as a child, I didn't believe in snitching. I didn't. I just didn't. I don't know. Brian, what's wrong? So one, they could not ever get me to say what was wrong. So she went across the hall and confronted my fourth grade teacher, like, "What did you do to him?" Who? Brian. We only had one person in our class named Brian. That's what it's like, man. People will be messing with you. And especially when you're young, you don't know how to deal with it. Like, you're used to people your age messing with you, but when adults are messing with you, you don't know how to deal with that. And the only way my mother found out was when my fourth grade teacher tried to talk to my mother like a child. And that's when all that got straightened out really quick. Because the next day, I went into class. My fourth grade teacher was talking to me as if I was the president. And I was like, "Who is this? Who is this?" As a man, it's going to take years for you to understand how to defend yourself. That's why you have your childhood to experience things. Because when you become a leader, when you become a man, you have to understand, look, I'm going to give you one cordial warning. I don't care who you are. I'm going to give you one cordial warning. You will not speak to me as if I am a child. You will not speak to me as if I work for you. You will not speak to me as if I'm a slave. This is how the Lord brings you along. Because he allows you. Now, he's watching all this. But understand. See, you think the Lord sees you as you are today. No. The Lord sees you as your finished product. Before the foundations of the world, he gave his life up. Which signifies to us that he as in Jesus, gave his life for mankind before time even started. So when God started time, he did the end first and worked backwards. And once he got to the backwards, then he pressed start for us to relive it again. So when he sees us as our finished product. But in our mind, we're still a child. Lord, it's a lot going on. He's like, you are overcome. Notice how God speaks to Gideon. He speaks to Gideon as the finished product that he is. Seeing yourself grow is an actual gift. Seeing yourself grow is an actual gift. Another thing I learned along the way is gang violence. When I was in the 6th grade, when I was in the 6th grade, going from elementary school to middle school, that was a huge thing. It's because when we had fights in elementary school, it was basically a pillow fight between whatever. It wasn't like big, drawn out, whatever. Okay. When you got to middle school and you saw a gang of dudes beat up one guy, that traumatizes you. That traumatizes you. Like, what on God's green earth did he do to deserve that? That helped me with my desire to get saved. Because to see someone just mauled over, and then keep in mind the idea of guns coming people hiding guns in their locker and everything. That was just different, man. That was just like, whoa, this ain't the fourth grade anymore. The heck is this? what, what the heck is this? Hiding guns in lockers? What? Yeah, man. That was tough. I remember the first time I got mugged. I had some. I always wore glasses since the third grade, and I had some smooth glasses. Had a little iron frame here. They were a little tinted. They looked like sunglasses. I really liked those glasses. When I got mugged, they took my glasses because they thought they were sunglasses, and they took my mesh book bag. Mm. So when you're seeing people get, I mean, that was traumatizing. Why? Because I was still dealing with the idea that I was a kid and I never felt like I was protected. Never. Never. My mother standing up and getting my fourth grade teacher corrected, that was a huge thing. That was a huge thing. And even then, my mother never talked bad about my fourth grade teacher. She just corrected it the way she knew how. We never had that issue again. But it's how people stand up for their sons today are just totally different. It's how it was for me growing up. I mean, that concept was just non-existent, just non-existent. Like someone else standing up for me. What is that about? So even to this day, as a grown man, when anybody stands up for me, it's just overwhelming. Because I'm used to fighting everything on my own, getting outcomes. So when we had the MAGA rally here in DC back in November. So all these Trump supporters from all over the country came to DC to do the rally. So per usual, after a day of filming, I will go to my spot. I call it the Regal Beagle. Anyone who understand that reference from Drew's Company, I will go to the Regal Beagle and just watch, college football, whatever's still playing by the time I finish filming. I'm there, and it looked like the backwoods of South Carolina. Northwest DC looked like the backwoods of South Carolina. I get there, put in my name, and they was like, you know what? We can seat you upstairs. I was like, okay, cool. Took me upstairs. They had 3 of my favorite waitresses up there that I'm cool with. Everything's cool. Downstairs looked like South Carolina. They took me upstairs. No one was up there yet. Everything was cool. Then they brought up a group of Trump supporters. I was texting Pastor Hennett with all this what was happening. Like, yo, it's off the hook tonight. What do you mean? Let me tell you. And it just got, after seeing the Trump supporters' behavior during Black Lives Matter, their reputation preceded themselves, and they were somewhat aware of it. So they kind of went out their way to be extra courteous and nice and all. They were horrifying to other white people who don't think that the way that they do. They were horrifying to them. Like, I mean, like, y'all put the red into rednecks. Seriously, this is uncomfortable. So, the group wasn't rowdy, but not out of control as it could have been. Okay, fine. One of the gentlemen had his young son with him. And he was like, I really like the architecture in here. So he asked me, excuse me, sir, is it possible for you to stand to the side while I take a picture of the wall behind you? I was like, yeah, sure. As I'm standing up and we're talking to the Trump supporter, my blonde-haired, blue-eyed friend who is one of the servers there popped out of the kitchen like she wanted to know what is happening. It's because I was the first black guy up there among all these Trump supporters. Other black groups came up, but none of them were by themselves the way I was. So I was somewhat emotional inside when someone who looks like them stood up for me because she thought something was about to go down. Even before that happened, one of the managers came to me because it's her job as a manager to make sure everything is fine. When she constantly saw I was the only one up there among all these Trump supporters, she said, Brian, if you want me to move you downstairs to somewhere nicer, just say the word. I was like, okay, do you think I should move? It's like, well, that's your decision. But if you decide you want to be moved, just let me know, and I will handle that for you. You're just not prepared to deal with someone caring about you. You're just not prepared to deal with it. You're just really not prepared for that. Kevin Samuels talked about the time when he was in college and a white woman took care of him when he was sick. She was like in the workforce and he was still in college. He said she came to where he was, his dorm apartment, whatever. Brought him, I don't know, chicken soup, whatever. Made sure everything was fine. Checked on him, make sure everything his place was fine, and then she left. She said he said he was stunned because when you're a black man and you're not used to good treatment, and then someone of a different color of you give you good treatment, you are confused. You are confused because you're like, what's happening? You have no idea how poorly treated you are until someone comes along and show you how it's really done. And that's a blessing from God because you know how to measure your standards now. You're being ignored by your own people, your own women, your own aunt, your own mother, not your mother, not your own aunt, your own cousin, your own sister, your own. And when someone who got long flowing hair comes along and does something for you that you know that nobody else have done for you, and you're like, that lets you know. That lets you know you are a hidden gem. You just not have been appreciated. 7th grade, things I learned along the way is how important personal hygiene was. It's important. It's because as a man, I don't believe your mother should address that with you, being a man, being a young man. I don't believe your mother should address that situation. It should be your father. If he's in your life, if he's around, he needs to address that. He needs to. If you're a young girl, your mother needs to address that, or older sister, your mentor, someone who you look up to you. They need to address that. Boys in particular, we learn by watching. We don't learn by you telling us. Someone that I knew, he had bad oral hygiene, and I would hear his mother tell him all the time, did you brush your teeth? Here is the thing. You cannot tell a boy to do that. You have to show him. You have to show him. You have to show him. You have to do it right next to him. This is why boys' learning curve takes so long. Why? Because there's no example. Our mothers are not examples. Why? Because they don't look like us. They don't have our anatomy. So half the stuff they tell us we think is crazy anyway. Kevin Samuels was telling the story on one of his videos how he was in a grocery store, I believe, and this woman approached him, and she was married. She approached him with her young son, and she said to him, hey, I just want to tell you, my son really likes the way you are dressed. Now, anyone who follows Kevin on social media knows he's always in a suit, always in impeccably dressed, always look like he's on a magazine cover. He told the story how a married woman approached him is because her young boy was so inspired by the image of a strong black man. The mother walked over there. He thought she was getting ready to hit on him because he saw the ring. He was like, you married and you were trying to get it popping? What? But she said, my son is just really touched by, the way you're dressed. And then the boy said to him, sir, when I grow up, I want to be dressed just like you. I want to be dressed just like you. My father was always an impeccably dressed man. But I did not want to dress like him because he was not there to show the process with me. Yes, this is what it takes to do this. This is what it takes to do that. Men are visual. So chances are we learn by showing us. Even my supervisor tells me, he's like, you're a visual learner. You're a visual learner. So visual learners, as most men are, is because we live through our eyes. That's how we know a woman is attractive. It's not what she says to us, it's how she looks. So because my father and my brother never took me through the process of what it takes to be dressed in the morning, what it takes to smell good, what it takes to... They always wanted the outcomes, but never walked me through it. This is where the gap is when we don't model. Modeling is just as important as teaching. We have people who want to teach and then roll out. Okay, good. No. Jesus modeled what he taught for 3 years, 6 months, and 40 days to his disciples. He modeled it. Because people pay attention to what you do more than what you say. So I had a very long, uncomfortable learning curve when it came to personal hygiene. Why? Because there was no man to show me why this is important. Yeah. Be open to the fact that you're losing by something that you don't know about. Something that you don't know about. No. 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 Some men learn by watching. We learn by watching. You don't take him through any kind of process, and you expect him to be a man by your passing input. No. TD Jakes said he would when the twins were younger, the kids were younger. He would come in from being from all parts of the country and just walk through the house and say, "Hey, is everybody good?" And everybody would say, "Yeah," and he would keep walking. He said it took him time to realize that's not parenting. Parenting is not walking by. You good? You good? You good? All right. Carry on. That's not parenting. Because people don't tell you the truth while your feet are still moving. I'll say it again. People don't tell you the truth while your feet are still moving because they don't think you care. That's why they don't tell you the truth. So when you hear the truth years later, you are in total shock. Like, what are you talking about? All of those 10 times that I asked if you were good, you didn't tell me that then. No one tells you the truth while your feet are moving. You only get to find out the truth when you're around. You only get to find out the truth when you're around. Things I learned along the way. I prospered in school when I got an opportunity to shine. I prospered in school when I got the opportunity to shine. And what I mean by got the opportunity to shine was when my brother and my sister went off to college. That's when my life began to change. Be open to the fact that the cocoon you're in is keeping you from prospering. The cocoon that you're in is keeping you from prospering. Be open to that. When my brother and my sister went off to college, me getting in trouble in school had to stop. It had to stop. It's because she was getting older and she was getting very concerned. Why? Because he's still this old and still acting like this. So my mother taught me how to tie. Not my father. My mother did. Not my brother. My mother did. She had no reason to know how to tie, but I learned how to tie through my mother. My brother may have walked me through the process, but my mother taught me. When things were going not great with between my parents, My mother was getting older. She was already riddled with depression because of her massive weight gain. When I see pictures from her as a child and in high school, she looked like a model. She looked like a model. My mother went from that to being morbidly obese. And as my aunt and I recently talked about concerning her, she was in a state of depression because she gained like 100 plus pounds. 100 plus pounds. The marriage wasn't great, and she comforted herself through eating. That's not my father's fault. He plays a role in it, but that's not his fault. Blaming your weight gain on somebody else, that is not the adult thing to do. Grow up. That's not the adult thing. It's a reality, but it's a reality that you have to address. Keep in mind, we're not a people who believe in therapy. We didn't grow up. we didn't grow up learning those types of things. She was more unhealthy than we recognized. So when I was getting in trouble at school, I can tell her hair was getting grayer. She had a beautiful head of hair. I can tell her hair was getting grayer. She had, as I shared before, she had this one gray eyelash, and it's in the same place on my brother's face. That one gray eyelash. So I noticed because she's the one tying my ties. But before I learned, my brother walked me through, as I said, a couple of times how to tie it, but no. After a while, it was like, look, I gotta learn this on my own. Now, being in church all your life, how folks do it in different ways and all this other stuff. I'm not. I know how to tie a tie one basic way, and it works. It works. When I saw that me getting in trouble at school was affecting her, I wanted to do something about it. Because she had stuff going on with my father, had stuff going on with me at school, behavior at home, all this other stuff. I wanted to do my part to make her life easier. That's what I wanted. So I wanted to learn always had perfect attendance in school since the fifth grade. Even then, from grades 1 to 12, I probably missed no more than 10 days. Why? Because me being at school was a break. was a break my mother had for me. So she's like, nah, you getting out of here. When I learned that I could do something that my siblings couldn't, which would show up at school every single day, I wanted to do it. Why? Because that was my competitive nature. My siblings were brilliant, and they still are. And here we are, 40 years later in life, both brilliant, both accomplished. All right. But me, who understand it's important for me to be me, which means I'm different from them. I wanted to do whatever it took to make things different, to stand out among them. That was about the time, along with my perfect attendance, I was making making the honor roll and accepted in the honor society, and I received a invitation into the gate program that I declined. That was huge. Why? Because everybody wanted to get in it. I wanted to be the only person to say, no thanks. No thanks. After my teachers fought to get me in it, no thanks. No thanks. No thanks. Yeah. Because the kids who was in the gate program, I mean, they was viewed as child geniuses, man. They was viewed as child geniuses, boy. I felt good turning that crap down, boy. Like, yo, shut up, shut up, shut up. I did not want to be a part of an elite group. Why? Because I wanted to be myself. Yeah. Because how you view me doesn't make me feel good about myself, because I feel good about myself all the time anyway. Yeah, my sister was a part of the gate program. I think maybe my brother was. But yeah, yeah, I wanted to turn that down. Because after turning that down, you're not all of a sudden not brilliant anymore. See, no one determines if you're brilliant. Your actions and your work shows that. Your actions and your work shows that. Going to something else I learned along the way was going from elementary school to middle school and middle school to high school was like three different worlds. It was three different worlds. Now, in middle school, we have people, guys getting beat up by 30 other guys that may have guns, may have knives. In high school, we had straight out shootings. We had straight out shootings. Yeah, man. That was rough. That was rough. That was rough. To be just going to school, doing your everyday day thing, and just that was rough. Like that was a different world. Being being in class with a girl and her having a 30-year-old boyfriend. That that was baffling to me. You'll have the cute or sensual or sexy classmate that's in class with you. You're in high school, and her grown boyfriend with a full beard and a $50,000 car sitting out front waiting for her to get out of school. It's like, what is this? Because I was still a kid. I was still into comic books and all that stuff. But she had the whole, what is going on? That was baffling to me. That was baffling to me. Little did I know that was my first exposure to age gap dating. Because I'm now a huge advocate of it. Now, one, I'm not an advocate of statutory rape. Because as I said, their boyfriends were 20s and 30s. They were 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Underage. Minors. Ugh. 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 Drug dealers did not have a hard time finding a girlfriend. Why? Because it's about economics. It's about a life that you can provide. So you may be a Christian man watching this, but do know it's still about the same thing. What kind of life can you provide her? Because even if your woman doesn't tell you, she still expects you to pay all the bills. Because you are supposed to provide a life for her. That was my first exposure to the age gap dating. Crazy. 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 Fall in love for the first time. Things I learned along the way. Falling in love for the first time. You're not going to get it right. You're not going to get it right. I remember when we broke up. I mean, that was the pits. To use an old expression, that was the pits. That was horrible. And we broke up because I was doing too much, because I was excited. I was excited. It is in a man or a male to give. I wanted to give my confirmation that I cared for her and all this other stuff. It was overwhelming to her. It was overwhelming to her. And do know, ever since the 9th grade, that don't change. A woman will say she wants X, Y, and Z. But when she gets X, Y, and Z, and it does not happen the way she thought it should have happened, it's like you did nothing to her. Did nothing for her. The black woman does not know what she wants. And she's surely not willing to do whatever it takes to get it. When it comes to men and relationships. No. I didn't know it, but I learned that in the 9th grade. And we're kids. It's the same principle. It's the same principle. She wants this, that. No. The woman still lives in fantasy land. That's why she's still single. She still lives in fantasy land. Why? Because she lived a life of not being held accountable. She thinks because a guy wants to have sex with her that a guy wants to be with her. No, not even close. Not even close. Not even close. A man that she's having sex with may say, I want to marry you, but he's talking about that after he's on his way about to have sex or just got finished having sex. It's not a real upright conversation. Yeah. It's good to talk about these things because you just don't know. You just don't know unless you hear other men talk about it. Things I learned along the way. Women think you're awesome as long as you do what they want you to do. Women think you're awesome and you're special as long as you do whatever they want you to do. Sitting in church, you're young and you're vibrant and you're in the Bible class, you're in the Sabbath school, you're answering all the questions, you involved in worship, you involved in church or whatever. But the moment you say anything to them, they give you this look like, who are you to even say anything to me? Let me tell you, that never goes away. That never goes away. I remember when we had a pizza place that was by our house in Baltimore. Our father would go there and pick up a pizza. The pizza was always scorching hot. I don't know if they used the sun to cook the pizza, but I don't know. I don't know. The standard rule was no one eats anything in the car, especially pizza, because you don't drop anything in our father's car. Okay, fine. I get in the car with the pizza, and my sister says, "Give me a slice," and I was like, "No, because we're not supposed to eat in the car." This female loses her ever-loving mind and says, "You better give me a slice." This chick turns into a dude. She turns into a dude and loses her mind. Why aren't you doing what I'm telling you what to do? And what I'm telling you is this never changes. In particular with the black woman, this never changes. Things I learned along the way is black women think very little of black men. Why? Because of the diminished black male image in the home, in society, and in church. The diminished black male role. I had no idea my sister had resentment for me as a child. And for me, I am the youngest, so I thought I was just getting on her nerves. No. Ladies, if you desire to be married, it's your job to get right with your father. Why? Because he's typically the first black male image in your life. Because if that's not a healthy relationship, she will have no other successful male relationships in her life. She won't. She won't. She won't. I know people now who are people. I know ladies who are married now whose spouses disgust them, but it is not strange to me the fact that they have no respect for their fathers. No. The father is out of the picture, but everybody else has to suffer dealing with a bitter woman. Everybody else has to suffer. Everybody else has to suffer. Until you say something. Until you draw a line. Until you draw a line. Things that I learned along the way. I brought that example up because it is the same thing in a church. You are a guy. It is not more than 3 guys at one time in church anyway, so come on now. Come on now. Yeah. No. Church with a lack of marriages and healthy marriages at that really don't tend to draw men. No. Men like to be where they're comfortable. Go figure. In a church with no other husbands and fathers, but yet there's a lot of children, yeah, that really don't draw men. So it's really not an environment that really incubates healthy relationships and marriages. Yeah. So when you grow up in that environment, you are just an accessory to everything else that's happening there. You are just an accessory. Go get the stuff out of your trunk. Do this, do that, do that. The moment something you do or say don't go the way they wanted to do, those women turn into men. They turn into men. You are disgraceful in their eyes. No surprise. No husbands. No healthy relationships. You can't even say who is the father of your children. None of that. Yeah. Yeah. Things you learn along the way. You fine as long as you don't give them. That's what you say about a gang of bullies. That's what you say about a gang of bullies. Not women in the church. So the bad man that came into your life, you chose him. You chose him. You chose him. Accept that. You chose him. You chose him. God didn't choose him for you. You chose him. Bringing a girlfriend into the church. I did that twice, and I did not learn from that mistake. You don't bring another young lady around bitter old women. You don't bring. You don't do it. You don't do it. Bitter? I'm not bitter. I was like, yeah, you are bitter. You are bitter. You are bitter because you think the fact you don't have a man is God's decision, not knowing it's your lack of competitiveness. See, no one taught our black girls you need to compete for a man. If you want a man, why would you not care about him or care about what he wants? Why? Why? That makes no sense. You care about everything else. You care about your job, your career, all this other stuff. But you don't care about what a man wants. But you want one. No. 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 You think you're enough just as you are. No. No. You're insane. And look, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. Even the one that was married, man, you chose him. You chose him. It's rough, boy. It is rough. You see some things. You see some things in your life, and you're like, huh. And you begin to analyze folks' outcomes, and it's like, huh. I brought my high school sweetheart to my church, and I brought my college sweetheart to my church. Both was a mistake. You don't bring you when you understand what's what. You don't bring your girl around certain women. You don't do that. One of the worst things that happen among women is when single women listen to other single women. No. That is horrible. That is horrible. That is horrible. No. Women giving other women advice is one of the worst things that can happen. That's fine if y'all talking about certain things, but no. The end product of what you see in life is a man. That's the end product. You won't say it, you won't admit it, but you're thinking it. Because you, even to this point, you still feel like something is missing in your life and you have no idea what it is. Because it's the natural desire to be with a man of your choice, and he is him of your choice, and you are of his choice. Natural desire. Natural desire. You figured out everything else in life except that. When I brought my girlfriends to the church, one of the worst things I've ever done. One of the worst things I ever done. It's because all that bitterness and coldness and anger and resentment got on them. It got on them. And the one from college, she, even worse, she was the only child. So she only believed in getting things her way. She believed in Jesus. She believed in not eating cheese. She believed in not eating tomato, but she loved pizza, and she believed in things ought to go her way. That is what those 5 things. That's what she believed in. When she saw that she could use that situation against me, let me tell you, she did. She did. Often. As a man, you have no idea how gullible you are. Why? Because you're not around other men. You have no idea just how gullible you are. You have no idea. You just have none. You have no idea. That played a role into how I am now. I choose who comes into my life. I choose. I choose who meets who and all this other. No. They don't think much about you. That's what I learned along the way. They don't think much about you because there's no healthy male image in our life. Only the ones that do what they say. Things I learned along the way, just as going to middle school was a huge thing, going to high school was a huge thing, going to college was a huge thing. I had no idea that I was attractive until I got to college. I had no idea. I thought maybe on a good day I was cute. But when I got to college, man, things was different. Things was different. When you're in high school, when you're in middle school, you are a regular guy. When you're in high school, you're still a regular guy. One of my best friends, good friends, even to this day, This woman looks so to me at that time. This woman looked so good to me. She looked better than everybody in my high school combined, and she forced her way into my life. Now she knew. She was like, we're going to be good friends. What? This is the interesting thing about that. Men really don't need female friends. No. Men only understand one thing. We understand attractiveness. We don't, and even then, you're not really considered a friend. You're an associate. We really don't need female friends. Friends? No, someone we know, but we don't need female friends. Listen to what you're saying. We don't need female friends because the woman does not register with us unless we're attracted to them. I was attracted to her from day one. The way when we were 18, the way she would look at me, she would have this piercing stare. And I was like, what is happening? This is why is the room spinning? That's how good she looked up to me then. But she was never interested in making something happen between us. Never. She was never interested. She was never interested. Why? Because men are optional to a woman. Men are optional to a woman. The men she chooses that I knew about is pretty much what it is now. They can provide a life for her or them. Much like in high school, having the 14-year-old, 15-year-old classmate and having a boyfriend outside who's twice her age in a Lexus. Yeah. My good friend always dated older men. As long as we have known each other. And I knew her before all the guys she got close with. She knew me first. It never crossed her mind. Why? Because I was an accessory to her. One of the brilliant things, one of the most brilliant talks, and we had many. One of the most brilliant talks my sister ever had with me was when she said, you may not want to get too tight with your high school girlfriend because what happens when you go to college? What do you mean? I mean, I've never heard anything like that. I've never heard anything like that. She was, I was like, wait, what? What do you mean? She said, what if you go to college and meet someone nice, someone you like? Do you want a long-term relationship? I never. Oh my goodness, our senior day in high school was approaching, and she hit me with that just in passing, and I was like, outside of scholarships and everything, that was the first time I thought about my future, like socially. Yo, when I told my high school sweetheart that I wanted to break up because I wanted to, yo, all I have is images of black women losing their minds. That's that's all I have is just images of black women losing their minds. Just the hysterical. Oh, that's all I have, man. That is just nuts. It's just nuts. What? That alone was like a 10-month conversation. because this is why. This is why. Because my high school girlfriend realized she found someone who was nice, who was honorable, someone who was gullible, a church boy. Because her ultimate goal was getting out of her parents' house. Listen to me, y'all. All this high value talk, all this man talk I'm doing now, do know I'm having these conversations with my friends and my father. Stuff that I feel like that ought to have been taught to me by them, I'm teaching it to them. It's crazy. It's crazy. It is nuts. So whenever I talk about black ladies, guys can immediately connect, be like, yeah, I had that same experience. It's crazy, right? Yeah, it is crazy. What? It's crazy. It is wow. That was a 10-month conversation. And let me tell you how that ended. While I was at college, she had this guy who was obsessed with her. Not in a violent way. Total beta male. She was obsessed with her. And let me tell you, he was willing to do whatever it took to get her. For all I knew, this guy lived in my shadow. This guy... Because when I got to college and I saw what else the world had to offer, and I looked at my high school sweetheart and I was like, let me my sister was right a year too early. she was right. She was right. To walk across Howard University campus just on a random Tuesday and to see Jesus be a fence up in this place, man. That was crazy. That was crazy. That was insane. So while I'm in, it wasn't called the DMV then. It was called the area then. So I'm in the area. I'm in college, trying to do the whole school thing and all. And this dude was just pushing up on my girl as yeah. Things I learned along the way. We had one conversation summer of '97. She lost her mind, as she was known to do. If you don't need therapy for nothing else, you just need therapy for your previous relationships. She was falling for this dude. She was falling for this dude. And one, we did drag our relationship on a little too long because people don't. We think because we invest in relationships. Look, it's all about making a decision. Are you going to marry this girl? Are you going to marry this other guy? If you are, do it. If you're not, and leave each other alone. Okay, all these long and like we were together for like 2-3 years, like way too long. Say, look, just let it go. Little did I know that was a common thing among, in particular, black people. We will have a 5-year relationship. We'll have a 7-year relationship. We'll even have kids from it, but we'll not get married. And this is disgraceful. Why is it disgraceful? Is because we're not building black communities, because we don't have black families. Black families includes the black man as a husband. As a husband. Not just a father, but as a husband. Women value motherhood over being a wife. They value motherhood over being a wife. That's where we are into society. Insane. 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 My good friend from college, who was at the time just super attractive to me. I didn't know that women saw men as optional. She saw me as optional. So there was another young lady that was super attractive. She was so attractive. My friend thought that she was attractive, and she thought that we were perfect for each other. Why? Because she was super attractive and I was cute. Okay, nice. She was nuts too. Nuts, not as in crazy, but just egotistical, like very masculine. Like I'm getting my way. Like that's how life is. I get my way. And what it is she had was she had pretty privilege. She had pretty privilege. She was super attractive. I mean, then now she's a cute. My your a friend from a college, cute. Cute is average. Cute is average. And you don't learn these things until you learn from other men. Cute is average. She was a 12 to you in college, but as a grown up, it's like, she was cute. She wanted us to get together and like, it's like no, because it was, again, she thought I was optional too. This is what I mean by optional. When a woman perpetually believes that she can do better, perpetually. I don't mean for like in undergrad or even in college. I'm talking about for the next 20 to 30 years. She is 20 and 30 years older, still holding herself out for a better deal. That she can always do better. Not realizing the man you want, how do you know he wants you? That don't cross their mind. No. They only see it from their point of view, and from their point of view, they always win. They always win. From their point of view, they always win. So when a man comes along who was typically the logical one comes along and shares, hey, you might want to look at your little formula, because I don't think that's going to. What do you mean? Things I learned along the way, that my sister-in-law thinks she's better than my brother. that my sister-in-law, I don't know if she still thinks that way. That's none of my business. But in the beginning, she thought she was better than him. Well, why would you say that? My brother asked her to marry him more than once. Now, from my, I can only speak from my. I'm like, dude, whoa, whoa, dude, slow it down, slow it down, slow it down. You asked her how many times? Ooh, ooh. I don't know, man. I don't know. And little did I know that that's not an uncommon thing. Most women think they're better than men, especially career driven and academically, and because she always thinks that she can hold out and get a better deal. Black women in particular do not think they're supposed to win early. They don't think that. Generation X, millennials, zennials, that no. They think they are going to marry the Prince of Zumanda. They think that. They think that. Not knowing the guy you passed over in the undergrad is going to be somebody that you respect one day. We all respect him, but he's going to be somebody that you respect one day. And you could have had it because you have unrealistic standards. And this is why you're still single. That's why you as in black women have invested in dogs. Dogs. You're pouring your love into dogs is because you cannot keep a man. You can get one. You can have sex with a man, but you can't keep a man. That's where we are in our society. Because without black families, we can't have black communities. No, we can't. Every other race can have their own community. You can have the Hispanic race where the average Hispanic man earns $30,000. His woman respects him, and he can be an entrepreneur, and everything can be done under the table, but they have a community. They have a community. And they raise their children to get proper schooling and to give back to their community. But the black, no, not us. No. I will tell you why. Because women in every other race thinks in terms of race. Where women in our race thinks in terms of gender. The female gender is above the male gender in their minds. And then they wonder why they can't get married. I have someone on IG, one of my young ladies in my fellowship. She runs her own singles platform. And all this week she been posting little stuff to encourage all these single saved black women and everything. Hey, watch single messages and watch single motivational speakers and watch Christmas movies with your friends. Yeah, don't worry, girl. God will send you a man. No, God don't send men. You have to compete for one. You have to compete for one, because you only need just one. You are unwilling to do what all women of other races are doing on a daily basis. You think you are above that. That's why you don't have a man. Because you think he's optional. You think very little of your father. And then wonder why you're not married. No. The guy you were supposed to be with, you probably already met. And you thought you were too good for him. Black men cannot hold black women accountable, but I know outside of white men can hold a black woman accountable, but life can definitely hold everybody accountable. Life, 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 life. You can't sweet talk your way out of life. Maybe isolated situation, but you can't sweet talk yourself out of life. You can't do it. Why am I still single? Because I am attracted to women that think they're better than me. The second reason I'm still single, because I'm not doing enough in my life. That's why. That's why. Because what do I always teach? I'm always teaching about outcomes. Outcomes. It's up to you. It's up to you. I told something to someone on my birthday. I said, don't be surprised if my wife is only a few years older than my oldest niece. Don't be surprised, because that's where we're going. When a man gets his stuff together, he can choose who he wants. That's why it's so important for a man to get himself together. I mean, not just financially, physically. You hit that gym 5 days a week? Brother, please. You'll be turning them down. You'll be turning them down. Please. A man can choose who he wants. A woman can't, because she think she still believe in feminist principles. Things are a little different for men and women. Men are the prize, but the woman is the catch. The woman is not the prize. The woman is not the prize. No. King Solomon says the woman, the wife, is the crown that's on his head. She's the crown, but she's not the king. No. Your feminist beliefs have effed up your life for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Your feminist beliefs. You're not a feminist, but you identify with their code, and it has totally messed you up. My college sweetheart, boy. She was a trip, boy. So was I. So was I. I mean, I was a trip in high school. But she was willing to make that work. She was willing to make that work. Because she did not want to. Yeah, she wanted to be married. That I really admire. I really admire that. I really do. I really admire that, because today's woman, today's contemporary woman, no, she wants to be a mother. She don't wants to be a wife. No. I really admire that. I mean, she was making moves. This chick was getting ready to steal me away from my family to move to Atlanta. Let me tell you, boy. Let me tell you, boy. Woo! Very little stopped her. Very little stopped her, boy. she needed help from day one because she what was the only child. She didn't see anything she did as being wrong. No. She grew up with a hard-working single mother, divorced. That plays a role into it. That's why I'm mentioning it. And that was rough, y'all. That was rough. It's like her ugly bring out your ugly, and your ugly bring out even more of her ugly. It's y'all. Things you learn along the way. Things you learn along the way, y'all. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. It was crazy. It was crazy. I don't want to hear another woman talk about being stalked without a police report. When this woman was looming over me in my bedroom because my roommate in the house let her in, we had broken up one of many times. And this chick was standing over me in my sleep. Y'all, you do not learn about these things. You do not learn about these things. My father did not tell me these things. My brother did not tell me these things. But I'm getting to the opportunity where I can share things with them. No. The black woman publicized everything she goes through. We're just getting to 2020 where the black man is feeling okay to actually talk about things. That's why my videos are so raw. Because this platform is under my name. This ain't for the church. I'm not a guest speaker. This is my platform. And it gives you opportunity to just talk. Y'all, that was crazy. That was crazy, y'all. That was crazy. That was crazy. That was crazy. That was crazy. And like, it was like one of those things that you didn't realize what had happened until after she snuck out the room. I'm happy for her though, cause it was my first time seeing her at last year's homecoming since we went our different ways 15 years ago. 15 years. This woman wanted to be married. She got her heart's desire, and even to take it further, she had an adorable little girl. To see the picture of her daughter, that was a blessing to me. Why? Because she always wanted that. She always wanted that. She always wanted to be married. She always wanted to have a child. I'm happy for her though. Yeah, I'm happy for her though. Our mutual friend was like, "Yo, y'all really need to talk." No, we don't. 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 We've been through too much. No, we don't. No, we don't. No, we don't. We've been through too much. Nope. Things I learned along the way. I still don't like her best friend. I still can't stand her best friend. Her best friend is an all-out jerk. So even seeing them the first time in 20 years, I'm still ignoring her best friend. Like, nope, nope, nope. Because you can't like her friends more than you like her. No. If she gets on your nerves, do know her friends will too. And yeah, it's stories of how folks are more attracted to like their girlfriends or boyfriends' friends than they are that. I don't really believe in that. No, I don't believe in that. No, no. Why? Because my ex was just so much. She was so much. This woman told every lie invented under the sun. Every lie invented. I mean, ooh, she had the emotions to go along. She had like a different type of emotions. Oh my God, y'all. Oh my God. Things you learn along the way. Things you learn along the way. The things I learned along the way is that even when you're a guy, your options drop exponentially after you graduate college. I've heard people say it like it's something to deal with, but no, no. Even for a guy, you should have somebody you want to marry. That's one of the reasons why I respect my brother for so much, is because he went after who he wanted. The problem with that is that she thinks she's better than him. And that's not an isolated thing. You see this all the time with black women. All the time. It is very common for you to hear a black woman talk to a black man like he's a 4-year-old. No other race does that in mass. But no other race is obese and unmarried and divorced the way that our people are. Yeah, it's a connected. Yeah. Yeah, you want everything to go your way, but you don't want to be accountable for anything at all. Every time anybody says anything you don't like, you lose your mind. Okay. The doctor that comes on Kevin Samuels' show, she said something very interesting. She said she didn't find this out until later, but her doctor colleagues, whenever they give black women their annual physical, they never say the weight they are supposed to be. She is the only one who still does that. They never say the weight that a black woman is supposed to be. Why? Because black women are so difficult. They get so emotional and they get angry when you tell them the weight they should be. Because they pacify the doctor spot by saying, hey, as long as you lose 5 to 10 pounds, you should be a good. Knowing goodness well, they may be 60 pounds overweight. As long as you lose 5 to 10. Why? Because doctors are like, look, I don't got time for this. Let me say whatever I got to say. Let them deal with it. I need to move on to my next patient. When the doctor brought that up, that she was the only one still telling black women how much they should be weighing and getting so much pushback. Yeah. When you're not being held accountable for anything in your life, and you think it is the matter of God working a miracle in your life for you to get what it is you want, no. People are purposely not telling you the truth. Why? Because you are immature. Yes. Like a child, you are immature. I had someone I used to work with. I used to be a proofer. So when I would proof her work, and like it wasn't just me. It was all of the male proofers. Whenever we took her work back to her and say, this is what you got wrong. This is what it should look like. She was the only one catching a attitude and being verbally abusive. After going through that a few times, I was like, you know what? I'm not taking anything to her. If she gets in trouble, she gets in trouble. Why? Because she don't know how to act. And here you are, ladies. You are in your 30s, in your 40s, and in your 50s, still telling yourself that black don't crack. Still telling yourself that. And you don't know why you don't have certain outcomes. Because you're difficult to talk to. And that's your fault. And no one is trying to have that talk with you. Why? Because you only value the opinions of other women, which is horrible. No, you made the man optional in your life, and here he is. He opted out of being with you. Amen. Things I learned along the way. No one told me what it took to get a car of my own. I made a massive mistake. I got in a car wreck with my sister's car. And let me tell you, that messed me up for years. That messed me up for years. I was 38 years old. I just turned 38 when I bought my first car. I was 38 years old. I was 38. So my entire adult life, I was either borrowing one of my siblings' cars, or I was a part of a car sharing service, or public transportation. I was 38 when I bought my first car. Something that is tend to come to you very early in life. Things I learned along the way. How to do a budget. How to eliminate debt. No one in my family taught me that. Everyone still believes in debt. Things I learned along the way. Being out of work and being in a relationship is a horrible thing. Being out of work and being in a relationship is a horrible thing. Because out of all the things I could call my ex, I don't know if she thought she was better than me. She probably did. But she definitely knew I wasn't doing enough. Why? It's because what I've been saying. Women expect you to provide a life for them. That's why they are offended by you not giving life 100%. Why? Because it immediately affects them. Because this is what no one tells you. The woman doesn't want to work. She does not want to work after she gives birth and have to work to pay significant bills. That's what no one is telling you. After she gives birth to that first child, she wants to stay home. She wants to stay home. That's why it's on you to pay for everything, and no one's telling you that. No one's telling you that. Things I learned along the way. I thought at the time, I had an attractive coworker who was white, and she was later in a leadership role at my first real job out of college. And it's different when you go from being at Howard University to being at some crummy job that you thank God for, and there's only like one viable person for you to get it together. It's because you are at an age where everything is about church and work. So you don't get to meet. No one tells you these things. No one. It's crazy. No one. And it's like, yo, the eye candy game was on 99.9%. Then it drops to 19.5%. You have to hope she wears a skirt or something, and it's like yeah. Your approaching college would have been a lot different if you knew how badly your options dropped after graduation. My college sweetheart and I, we were together 2 years after I graduated. She came into school a year after me and graduated a year before me. That hurt me to my heart. It wasn't just her. It wasn't about, I was happy for her, but I felt bad for me, and I shouldn't have. But when you're young, nah, this is no time to feel sorry for yourself. You don't get to have a pity party. Things that you just weren't taught. Things you just. It's crazy. A woman will pursue you and then make you think that you pursued her. A woman will pursue you. Things I learned along the way. A woman will pursue you and try to make you believe that you pursued her. Like, no. No. And when you try to tell her the truth, she loses her mind. Things I learned along the way. And I will make this the last one. We will have to do this again, is because I didn't have think that this would be this good. I didn't think that this would be this good. Things I learned along the way. When your boy is in a relationship with a friend of your girlfriend, he will turn on you. When your boy is in a relationship with the friend of your girlfriend, he will turn on you just to get in good graces with her. I know what what I just say sounds confusing, but it's not. You understood exactly what I just said. When your boy will turn on you because he's dating your girlfriend's good friend to gain brownie points with her, he turns his back on you. That was utterly one of the most confusing things. And then had the audacity to be cool with my new girl. Like, wait, wait, wait. So you're going to ignore me as a human being. You are going to kiss up to my ex, who they were friends before. Okay, fine. But you turned your back on me. We were friends for like a year, a year or two. What's happening? What is happening? We were friends for like a year or two. This is crazy. This is crazy. All right. Let's end it here. I'll make this part one because yeah. All right, y'all. Y'all have a blessed evening. All right. Bye.